You probably were expecting this video on Good Friday, depending on who you are if you saw another video. But on Good Friday, I will be reviewing all three Bill and Ted's, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, Harold and Kumar, and This Is the End. And fun fact, This Is the End is actually my favorite movie of all time. I really like that movie. And because of that, I will be reviewing Hangovers today. So, because I just finished up watching them last night, so I'm like, might as well just review them. So, I have this right here, and I have all three DVDs right here. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to put them back in order. I have this thing right here, so when I'm talking about them, you know when I'm talking about it. I will put the DVD right there. I don't know why I took that off, but we'll start off with the first movie, which is Hangover from 2009. Hangover, the first Hangover, is about guys going to their friend's three guys going to their friend's bachelorette party. One of them, Alan Gardner, is... Okay, let's go through the characters. There's Doug, Alan, Stu, and Phil. Alan... Okay, Doug is the one getting married. Just so I can explain it better. Doug is the one getting married. Alan is Doug's wife's brother. Oh my god! I am so sorry for that. I am not going to re-record this video for a 50th time. Alan is Doug's brother-in-law. That's a good way to put it. And Phil and Stu are Doug's childhood best friends. So they're going to his bachelorette party in Vegas, aka Sin City. Place where you can have sex with a hooker and not feel bad about it. I'm so sorry. Let's just move along. They go there expecting just to have a little fun time, not to get hungover. Because the wedding's the next day. No, not the next day, but I don't know why I'm doing this. Why I keep saying that. It's not the next day, but it's the bachelorette party, day in the middle, then the wedding. And then, okay, they go there. Phil talks Stu into getting a villa. They get a villa. A very nice place. I've never been in a villa because I don't have that type of money. But, yeah. So let's just move on. They decide to go to the top to have little shots of Jägermeister. Please don't age restrict this video. I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry. Oh my god, I've said sorry like 4 times. I am so sorry for doing that. Okay. YouTube, please don't age restrict this video. I am so sorry for stuttering. Please don't age restrict this video because in this video, I forgot to bring it up, I will be saying Asian dick because there's another scene in it. There's a scene in the second one. And I will be saying dick a few times or cock. So sorry if you know me or a family member, you're watching this video. I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to get that out. Yeah, getting shots of Jägermeister. When they take it, little flashback, fast forward. They wake up in the morning, not remembering anything. Shows Stu on the ground, knocked out. Gets up, realizes he's missing a tooth. Have you ever had a worse hangover than that? Have you ever had a hangover that bad? Wake up missing a tooth. I've never had a hangover. Seemed fun. Not really. But this movie makes it seem fun. Actually, no, they don't. Make it seem like hell. And then, shows Alan waking up, going to the bathroom. And there'd be a tiger in the bathroom. How'd he get there? No one will ever know. Well, you will later when I talk about it. Oh, this is a longer video. I'm so sorry. I didn't say that earlier. It was on my mind, but I forgot about it. And then I'm basically just explaining the plot. Well, I'll review it. I gotta let you know what it's about. Kind of like Dead Meat does. Shout out James. He doesn't know who I am. I'm so sorry for this. Whole big thing happens. They can't find Doug. They go to the breakfast looking for him. Nothing happens. Oh, they find a baby. Most iconic scene ever. Baby Carlos. Alan and baby Carlos. And then they start looking around for clues. Clues. I don't know if you could say that. Checking their pockets. And they decide to, look around for him. Go to the hospital because they find out Phil has a hospital wristband, which means he was in the hospital. So they go over there for some clues. And they find out they just came from a wedding last night, and Doug was with them at the best little chapels, where you find out Stu married a hooker. How surprising. Okay? And then, oh, I even said this earlier. They find out Stu's planning to marry his girlfriend, who's not the best person. She's kind of not that cool. Not that chill. But we're kind of gonna fast forward it, so I'm not just explaining the rest of it. They're going through some stuff. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you've seen the movie, if you're just a fan of The Hangover and you just want to see somebody talk about The Hangover, this is a good video. If you haven't seen The Hangover, this is probably not the best video for you because I'm barely gonna explain the movie. For The Hangover, it's a classic. Best way to put it. Oh, the tiger was Mike Tyson's, by the way. Mike Tyson. I'm not gonna explain all of the entire plot of it, but yes, because I don't want to go through the entire plot. But this movie is already a classic. I actually have a posted card for our ranking for them. I have all 3 of them right here. Can't show you where is it. The first Hangover. Comedy. I'll rate it 1 through 5 stars. Comedy is 5 stars because this is one movie where it's funny throughout the entire thing. There is probably barely not one scene where the joke doesn't land. Well, it probably doesn't land for you. It depends on how you feel about if that's your sense of humor. Like some movies, they'll say a joke that I think is really funny, then the other person I'm watching it with won't find it funny at all. It is definitely dirty comedy, like Jay and Silent Bob or This Is the End. So, a kind of dirty comedy, but it's like, yeah, you get what I mean. Horror, there's no horror in it. Action, there's barely any. I feel like the most action scene is like when Chow jumps out of the car naked. Oh, they find out they just put Doug on the roof. Sorry. Spoilers! I'll put that in the title. If you're planning on watching this movie. Perfection. This movie, okay. There's Perfection, Guaranteed, Classic, Underrated, and Bad. Those are my rankings for them. This one is Perfection, because I can't guarantee you'll like this movie. You definitely have to have, like, a certain type of movies. Like, what's the type? Seth Rogen movies, basically. Like, those are, like, just, like, dumb, fun movies. Okay. Let's move on to this at the bottom. Hangover goes... After you watch the movie, I'll put it on the bottom. Hangover, Part 2 from... I'm so sorry. 2011. I was going to say 2011. I know this one came out 2013. This movie is basically just like the first one, except it's Stu getting married. And you won't even believe who his wife is. If you've seen the movie Grown Ups, the first one, Rob, his kid, he's a hot Asian one, is what it's supposed to be. And that's Stu's wife in this. It's crazy because I looked at her, like IMDb. She's like 40 years old and she does not change in the slightest. In a good way. That's good. But instead they go, I can't remember where they go originally. But they have to have Teddy, Lauren, which is Stu's fiance, little brother with them. So they go, it cuts to them having shots. So, yeah, you already know where this go. Rewind, wake up, and fast forward, wake up in the morning, and Bangkok. Kind of a weird place, because they weren't expecting to wake up there. So, they wake up, Phil is drenched in sweat. I'm sorry if this video is bad. Phil is drenched in sweat, because I'm not prepared. Phil is drenched in sweat. Alan is bald. And Stu has the Mike Tyson tattoo. And what does Phil find later on? He finds Teddy's finger, which is disgusting. Not disgusting. It's funny. And then, this is where I really don't want you to age restrict me. They find this thing. Blankets all around it. trying to figure out what it is. Come to find out, it's Mr. Chow's dick. It's an Asian dick. Okay? And then what helps them find that out? A monkey. Forgot to say they wake up with a monkey. And then, they find out they were with him. You know, he's pretty a big criminal. I didn't even get to him in the other one. But he's in all three of these. Kian Jian. How do you say his name? I don't even know how to say his name. But yeah. That's okay. Let's just get to my reviewing. I'm going to say the first half of these. And then, spoiler, I'm sorry to say this before I said where Doug was. Oh, Doug is completely okay. He had to leave early before. Oh, and in the first one, if you didn't know, Alan slips roofies, what he thinks are ecstasy. Sorry, another mentioning drugs. What he thinks he bought them ecstasy in the first one. Let's just move it right here just for this quick second. Alan thinks he bought ecstasy to put it in everybody's Jägermeister to give him a good time. But he gave him roofies, which is the date rape drug. That's the only reason I know that's because of that movie. Which is why, because one of the side effects of roofies is you can't remember, is memory loss. So let's just go back to this. What did Alan do this time? He laced their marshmallows. They had marshmallows. He made 4. You'll die if you eat 4, but nobody eats 4 marshmallows. Oh, and Teddy is in an elevator because they have power outages in Bangkok. So let's get to Hangover Part 2. Comedy, 5 stars. I love this movie. Horror, there's no horror. Oh, critically, of the first one, going back to the first one, I'm sorry. Critically, I rated it B+. Do what you want with that. Critically, I rate this a C+. There's no action in it. And out of the guarantee, perfection, classic, underrated, and bad, I put it underrated because people give it a lot of hate for being just like the first one. But move on to probably one of the most hated ones out of the franchise that I really enjoy because I like them all. The Hangover Part 3. So, and then after I'm done, I will go more into it, talking about it. After 2 years post-Bangkok, I'm sorry, I'm reading the back. Third man, Leslie Chow escapes from Chow. Chow escapes from prison because he's arrested in the second one. Escapes from prison, and then Alan's dad dies. Alan Gardner, his dad dies. You go to his funeral, find out Alan hasn't been on his medication for 6 months. So they give Alan intervention. And then what happens when they go to the intervention? Somebody's after them because they know who Chow, because they're talking to Chow recently. So, the movie starts off, no, it doesn't start off. When you first see Alan, he bought a giraffe. Its head gets decapitated because he goes under a bridge. But, so they're set to get Chow because he stole gold. So, surprisingly, in this movie, despite the title, there's no hangover in this movie, which is why some people don't like it. There's no hangover. It's pure action, which I like that. That's the characters I like in another situation. But I do like when they're hungover and they don't remember anything. That's pretty funny. And then they have to get Chow, and it's just a whole mission on them trying to get Chow. Trying to get Marshall, which is John Goodman's gold, back from Chow. And Chow ends up putting them in Marshall's house. Marshall is John Goodman's character. Marshall's house to steal the gold he didn't have yet. He stole half of his gold, and the other half Marshall still has. He kept it in a wall in his basement. Chow's the only person that knew that was there. Chow lost all the other half of the gold. What did Chow do? He got them, managed to get the wolf pack, which is the 3 of them, into the house. Oh, Doug was kidnapped. Into the house, and then steal the gold, the other half of the gold that Chow didn't even have. The movie has a perfect ending. Alan meets somebody named Cassandra, played by, what's her name? Melissa McCarthy. Oh, and if you don't know who these are guys played by Alan is Zach Galifianakis, Stu is Ed Helms, and Phil is Bradley Cooper. Sorry, I just say that just so you know which one I'm talking about on the cover. But and Kian Jung, I don't know how to say his name. I am so sorry. He's a very good actor. I like him in Community. But Ken Jeong. Oh my god. I know that's not his. I know he has Kian, and it's like Kian something is his real name, but he goes like Ken Jeong. I should have just looked at the back of it. But very good ending. He meets somebody and he decides to resign from the Wolf Pack. The group he started, he decides to leave from. And it's a perfect ending to an amazing trilogy. It plays that one song. Okay, every one has a song from Kanye West in it. This one plays Dark Fantasy, the song from My Twisted Dark Fantasy. That song at the end of it, as they're doing their classic walkout in the same order that they did in the first one. In the first one, it was Phil in the back, Alan in the front, Doug in the front, Stu in the back. That's how they're walking out in this one to Alan's wedding. But before that, he decides to resign from the Wolfpack and stay in. Oh, I didn't even say this. They were never to go back to Vegas, is what they said after the first one. They end up having to go to Mexico, Tijuana, and then they end up going to Vegas again. He ends up staying in Vegas because he finds a girl he really likes. Very good ending. The post-credit scene in these movies where Stu wakes up without a dick and boobs, pretty funny. Good ending to a franchise, to a trilogy. Okay, what do I rate that movie? The Hangover Part 3 from 2013. I didn't even say that. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars on comedy, only because it's less comedy. Like, I like the comedy, but it's not as good as the first two in comedy. The action is definitely a 4 stars as well. No horror. Critically, I'd give it a D-, only because there are some flaws in it, but I really do like it. Hangover Part 3 is underrated because people hate on that movie. But I will say, if you are a fan of these type of comedies, I will definitely say to watch this movie. If you haven't seen The Hangovers, okay, if I have to say, I don't understand why people don't like the second one, even though it's just like the first one. I would like to have a movie where the sequel is just like the first one. But, I feel like the first one's a classic. I love that movie. My second favorite movie of all time. Right behind this is the end. But it's a very funny movie. It's an extremely funny movie. Funny all the way throughout. Same with the second one. Not all the way in the third one, but I like the third one. Third one, it's definitely definitely different. You could definitely tell in like tone and stuff. Let's go back to the third one. You could definitely tell the third one's different in like tone. It kind of has a more serious tone to it. And when these ones, like the first one has like a more like, these two have like a more like silly tone to them. Like oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. Like more like, not so serious. More like, just like a normal comedy tone. But definitely a very good movie. If you like if you like movies like this, I would highly recommend to watch this movie, or at least just watch the first one for your culture. Not for your culture. To be cultured, you just have to watch the first one, really. Because if you've never seen a Hangover movie, the first one is a classic, so I feel like you at least need to see it one time in your life. So I will say that. What was I gonna say? You should definitely at least watch the first one. You gotta pay for it everywhere. But, yeah. You should definitely at least watch the first one. And if you like that one, you want to see more of it, you go to the second one. And then, could go to the third one if you really wanted to. It does, the third one, At least it's not a movie where they got a third one and then it was canceled after that. It at least made a nice trilogy and gave them all a happy ending, with Alan getting married and all of them being married at that point, and Alan finally learning learning responsibilities and just growing up. Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing not growing up, because yeah, but this one is funny all the way out through, and so is the second one. But they all have their flaws to them, except for the first one, because I really like that one. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. They all have at least a little flaw to them, but every movie does. No movie's perfect, except unless you're Everything Everywhere All at Once, or Deadpool from 2016. You don't have any flaw. They don't. Those two movies don't have any flaws. And I'd even say This is the End has a few flaws to it, but yeah. So if you want me to review, sorry. If you want to see me review older movies, please comment that. So anyways, until next time. Bye. I guess I don't like saying that. Just deuces.